Welcome back to Rock and Roll Rugby World Cup edition. And in today's one, I'm saying, look, I'm wearing a Southern Hemisphere hat. Just call this a Southern Hemisphere hat. So, if the Southern Hemisphere teams have to play really well, which is what past World Cups has taught us, is that Southern Hemisphere teams do pretty well at World Cups. What would happen? How will the pools play out? Who will win the World Cup? So in today's one, look, I mean, these things are hard to predict. There's no ways you can ever get it right, and you're always going to offend someone and their country and their team by not picking them. But I just went with really realistically, if the Southern Hemisphere teams play really well, what should happen in this World Cup? So guys, I mean, Pool A, I've gone with New Zealand first and the All Blacks first and France second. And the reason why is that's what I'm saying is if Southern Hemisphere teams play really well, the All Blacks can very possibly beat France in that first game. Many might think it cannot happen. France have suffered quite a few injuries. I know they're playing at home. I'm not saying they're not going to win this, but if we look from a Southern Hemisphere team, theoretically, let's say that the All Blacks beat them, it is very possible it could happen. Then they would be first in that pool, second France. Then looking at Pool B, let's say the Springboks play outstandingly well, keep their form that they've got currently. They eventually get Andre Pollard and Lucanio back in the team, and they are in great form, and they beat Ireland and Scotland in the pool of death. And they go through top of the pool, and second, let's put Ireland, if we have to be realistic about it. We know we've got the big players being Australia, Wales and Fiji in there. But let's say realistically, Australia keeps improving. Wales and Fiji, I feel they should be able to beat. They go out on top in that pool, and we've got Wales ending second if we look at past World Cups. I know a lot of Fiji fans feel this is the year for Fijians. But let's say the Fijians don't go through and Wales beat Fiji and they go through second. We've got Argentina, England and Samoa, the big players there, and of course Japan also. But let's say for this one, I don't think for me there's that much doubt. I think Argentina should take this one and be on top of the pool. And then what I've gone here is I still think there's going to be an upset this year and England won't get through their pool stages. I don't think they play well enough, and there's a big possibility Japan or Samoa could put England out of this World Cup. I've gone, and said, look, let's say very kind of like looking at what I've seen, and let's say Samoa goes through second in this pool. So we've got Argentina and Samoa go through. Right, so then if we look, first quarter final, we'd be looking at All Blacks win their pool. They play against runners up in Pool B, which would be Ireland. So this, it's a repeat of the last time these guys played, where Ireland beat the Springboks in New Zealand. So that's going to be a mammoth game. So let's say the All Blacks play Ireland, and let's say the Springboks then have to play France, the home nation, as the second semi-final, which again is going to be a mammoth game. Could go either way, really. Both games, I think, of these quarterfinals could be 50-50. It could go either way. Let's then go for Australia then playing top of their pool, playing second in Pool D, which would be Samoa. And then lastly, Argentina on top of their pool, playing runners-up Wales from their pool. That would be your quarterfinals. So let's say the Southern Hemisphere teams are in really, really good form. Then you end up with this interesting scenario where Australia makes it all the way to the semis against the Springboks. Which, man, I'm being kind to Australia here, but it's just, if you look at their pools, they can really make it to a semi. And I think Eddie Jones knows that, because the other teams in their pools are just not in great form. And it doesn't mean they are in the best form ever, but yeah, it is a reality. Play against the Springboks, and on the other side we've got Argentina play out against the All Blacks. And I think it's just going to be one step too far for Argentina in that semi, and the same for Australia. It's going to be a few steps too far playing against the Springboks. The Springboks win it and the All Blacks win it, That's your final. And the third place playoff between Argentina and Australia. I then say, and yeah, obviously it'll differ between All Blacks and Springbok supporters. The All Blacks will say we win it. Springboks will say they win it back to back. Or the All Blacks take back that mantle. But yeah, that will make for an amazing final. Third place playoff, I feel that Argentina this time comes through and gets that third place with Australia in fourth. Now guys, this is really looking at very much really a pro Southern Hemisphere type view or scenario. I have to have my doubts about Australia getting this far, but yeah, they could maybe be there just because of the pool. Argentina, I really think, has got a great shot this year to actually make it to a semi. And hey, maybe they surprise and make it to a final. Who knows? So yeah, there is many scenarios that can play out. I do feel when we look at a team like Argentina, they should be able to make it to a semis if they play up to, their full potential. But this is the way I've played it out. That's if a Southern Hemisphere team if the Southern Hemisphere teams had to be in really, really good form. So guys, then let's say the Northern Hemisphere team gets through, and I've already mapped the whole thing out. If the Northern Hemisphere teams have got better form in the World Cup. So let's say France finishes first in their pool, All Blacks second, Ireland first in their pool with the Springboks second. So just switching those positions around. On Pool C, I went a little bit different. We've got Fiji, Wales and Australia there. I've gone a little bit different this time. I say Australia fall out, Fiji beat Australia. Wales go through first in that pool and Fiji second. And then I said Pool D, I still think Argentina should be best there. I cannot see England beating them or Samoa beating them. But I'm saying, okay, let's say Argentina goes through first and England second. They find themselves somehow getting into through that pool, because at the moment it doesn't look like they will the way they're playing, but say they go through second there. So then it gets interesting where the semi-final will then mean Wales make it to a semi-finals against Ireland. Now Wales versus Ireland, the semi-final, I wonder how that will play out. We know how it's going to play out, there's no question. And then Argentina make it to a semi-final against France. Unfortunately, I cannot see Argentina beat France in the semi-final at home, but who knows, weird things can happen. But let's say France win that one, and let's say Ireland should definitely beat Wales. That means it makes an Ireland-France final, and that means a third place playoff between Wales and Argentina. This means then the final, Ireland versus France. Man, that could go any way, to be honest, like with the form that the Irish have been in. If they can keep that form, and obviously this is what I'm saying, is if the Northern Hemisphere teams are in form, especially Ireland, that could make for a great final. I still say France will win at home in a final, and that means the third place playoff, I would say definitely Argentina can beat Wales, which will make them in third. So that's France first, then Ireland second, Argentina third, and Wales fourth. That is if it's pro Northern Hemisphere. Now guys, many other things could happen here. It's just speculation really, and just you have to do some kind of prediction, and I just thought I'd play it out both ways to show you how it could end up working out in the end. What can we see out of this? Well, one thing's for sure, I actually really think that the Argentines have got a great opportunity to make it to the semis in both scenarios, if the Southern Hemisphere teams are good or the Northern, because I just don't feel in that pool of theirs they'll get beaten. I don't think that England can beat them. I don't think Samoa can beat them. I don't think Japan can beat them. So I really think Argentina has got a very good shot at finding their way into a semi-final this year of the World Cup. They've probably got the best shot. When you see in both scenarios, they make it to a semi. And who knows, maybe just that dark horse for the first time ever make it to a final in any of these two scenarios. From a Southern Hemisphere point of view, Australia has also got a pretty good road to make it to a semi if they can suddenly start improving on their form. So that's another team that could make it there. Well, who knows? It all depends on which teams are going to be in form, Northern or Southern Hemisphere in this World Cup. Guys, these are just my opinion. You can tell me what you think in the comment section below, but I appreciate every single one of you that still watch my videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the subscribe button below. I'm going to catch you in the next one, and man, the World Cup's around the corner. I'm so excited for it. Anyway, catch you in the next one. Bye.